Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025.
So it's Thursday. Tomorrow is Drake's birthday.
It is. Very important day.
Also, if anyone's wondering, Larry Sanders was also born there on that day, but not Gary Shandling, Larry Sanders. Ms. Resnick and I are about to take on the role of a lifetime as MacGruber and Vicky St. Elmo. So the people that we're going to be playing, or the characters, are not played by Dan Reeses and Jamie Resnick.
They are not. Let's be clear about this.
They are played by MacGruber and Vicky St. Elmo.
Who should have won the Oscar, truly.
They're characters in a movie called MacGruber, which is based on an SNL skit. It was written by Yorma DeCombe, who is one of the three members of the Lonely Island trio, also known for Captain Jack Sparrow, one of mine, Drake, and Pierce's favorite songs. I haven't seen my boys in months, almost 6 months, including camp. I can't describe the pain that I'm in. I can't make anyone really understand that before I posted any negative content whatsoever, I begged and pleaded for an amicable resolution, which clearly was impossible based on what I am about to tell you. Before I dive into it, all right, I want to know, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like the last couple of days have been...
Merry Christmas, Jamie.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy Hanukkah.
Thanks. In my household, we do a blended mix between the commercial aspect of, well, you guys were...
actually,
we were
actually a blended mix.
Yeah. So there's one thing that I want to say before we even begin. I am in a lot of pain, and I hope everyone understands and respects that. The only reason why this has come down to it is because if you look at the video that I just posted, you will see that this is a premeditated plan against me. And what's really painful is how much of an idiot I was, because I still love Mal. And that's the truth, because I have so many fond memories, so many good things that I can think of, that it's so hard for me to accept reality. And reality is that she cheated on me. For example, a few nights before I filed a restraining order, she spent 24 hours in Long Island not responding to a single text message, quote, by herself at her parents' house. That's not true. That's not true. And say what you will about me, boys. What I do is in public, meaning that me, Mal, Jamie, three human beings who were extremely close as friends. And the reason why it's so hard for me to wear these orange... I'm still fighting a cold, but the reason why it's so hard for me to wear these orange Crocs is you can see that I got them for Father's Day for my boys and Mal. While at the same time, what you're watching in that video happened in that sequence, meaning that there's a lot of those incidents that I don't show you. But what I needed to show is that I am just a human being who is dealing with a human who is threatening suicide, 2 kids in the house, and endless violence. And I don't even want to talk about what she was going to do in the closet by herself, because I think that it's counterproductive.
Like endless endless
every single day. Every single day. So what I want to be doing is growing my businesses and talking about all that stuff. But before I can even do that, I have to be able to say that, look, no human being, forget about the fact that I'm working at a very high level, but let's say that in the most rudimentary level, I was a business analyst that worked at some fucking billion-dollar, trillion-dollar conglomerate that couldn't give a shit if I responded to the emails or I didn't. I got my fucking paycheck and went home. There's no human being who's a real parent can function in the business world while having their children taken from them, knowing that they did nothing wrong. Meaning, let's say that I was a pedophile or I was an abuser or I hit anyone or anything like that, I would understand this form of punishment. But none of that happened. You see...
Meaning like the reaction that people are giving to you is as if you are...
I did something wrong.
The abuser, and if you
That's
have
right.
done
I
something
did
wrong,
nothing
and you deserve
wrong.
the punishment before being tried and everything. Like,
Tried.
you know,
I've had my
you,
kids taken
right,
from me
right.
without due process.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
There's the
100%.
And the goal
100%.
behind all this is make Dan go crazy, make Dan do something irrational, and make Dan, like for example, Mallory's attorney, this guy Matthew Smora, and Jamie. There's like a harem, a posse of. Do you know? Before I even get into that, do you know why I make a very serious and clear distinction between the American language and the English language?
No.
I'll explain.
Okay.
Do you know what a posse is?
A group of people.
But like in context to what? Like what? Where does the name come from? Where does the word come from?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the best I know without looking up the true definition of it. So,
Sure.
a posse in the Western times was a response to either a bank robbery or some sort of an attack on a small village where grown men would have to gather together, and maybe sometimes women, I'm not a Western historian,
Okay.
and they would have to gather together and go ride out to get whatever was stolen,
Got it.
kidnapped,
Okay.
or something like that.
So they would be put together
They
their
would
posse.
they would be put together a posse.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm going to
I
need you to, I'm going to explain to you how painful this entire process is, because I will need you to put in, write a few lawyers that have represented my wife, and I'll explain to you.
Just start writing their names.
No. First write Lubadugno, the best way you can, just phonetically the way it's spelled, ESQ, okay? Then Smoro, then Lubetsky, and then Jamie Solano. All right, so what the point of this is that in the English language, I don't know if the word posse exists or doesn't exist, but it sounds to me like it was a word that was really a Western American themed word. And that's why I kind of would attribute the word posse as a clear American word, because it's really, especially in Hollywood, there's a movie called Posse starring Mario Van Peebles, and I believe it's spelled Posse. But a human being, so now what I would say is what you're looking at, Jordan Blask, Esquire.
Obviously. Right.
Yeah. So what you're looking at right here is a list of attorneys who have aided and abetted criminal activity. So in general, I would have to say that if you were to ask me, how would you attribute the word posse in today's modern time, I would say, this is my wife's posse. So you guys have no idea how big my wife's posse really is.
Got it.
And
It's a big posse.
it's a big posse.
Yeah.
And this posse right here is a group of human beings that were willing to break the law. And please understand that by me speaking about this is not me harassing anyone. I am not
It is
hurting.
literally just your life,
It
and
is
it is
nothing
the truth.
more
This
than
is
the
exactly
truth,
what happened.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And any complaints to YouTube or anything are documented as evidence of criminals trying to suppress my voice.
I mean, if there is ever more evidence of lawyers working together as criminals together behind
Yes.
the scenes,
They're not
it is
this guy,
this guy, these two together with my
Jamie,
Jamie.
right, and then
Right.
John Lubensky. You guys have no idea how gross that is. And I'll
And
show
then he's
you
just
all
like
this.
the sleeper
And
cell
Jordan
behind the scenes.
Blask
It's Nickel-
represented
goes
me
with all.
and is Mallory's brother and has linked everything together and has been really, along with, you're going to have to write Jared Resnick, ESQ, because that's how it links together in the Jamie world. Because somebody would say to me, like, why is Jamie such an integral figure in all this? And I would say, well, first and foremost, she's a living witness to everything that I have to say, and she's able to attest in court.
Not his lawyer? Am I not putting the other Jamie up?
What?
She gets no other Jamie.
No.
Just
I've never been served with any papers by your Jamie.
That's true.
Look, this is the reality, okay? So this Jamie, it's very confusing. There's so many effing Jamies in this whole thing. There should be a posse of Jamies. Jamie's Posse. That's the name of the episode. Jamie's Small Posse. So, the truth of all of this is that in order for people to understand that I was just waiting for one of them to open up Pandora's box, and that was Jamie Solano. And I'll explain to you why. Jamie Solano, my wife kidnapped my children in the midst of alienating them from me and introducing them into other families and surrogate families, and trying to perpetrate this image of being a single mom while having a husband that is living and well and without going through the divorce process or any of that stuff. So this woman, Jamie Solano, what she did was she filed sanctions or threatened sanctions against me. What did she file? She filed something against...
She filed something I haven't.
Right. So basically, I want everyone to understand something, okay? If you're an attorney who is representing a human being who committed a crime, and you file on their behalf, you risk being charged with something called aiding and abetting. And the reason for that is because Mallory already admitted to the action in court. And once I'm able to just show this to any judge, it is mathematically impossible to avoid the consequences. Because my children are very young, and I put her on legal notice. Because as a human being who is dealing with someone like Mallory, who potentially had the ability to manipulate the system so she controls the safety of my children, I knew that I'm playing with fire. And I was absolutely right.
You were.
Because I knew that even if in the worst case scenario I have to go forward and tell the truth about getting the shit beat out of me, somewhere, somehow, Mallory will be able to manipulate to a point where my children's safety is not, my kids are not safe. Like, take a look at the human being that has full custody. Is anyone at all, is this thing on? Is anyone at all cognizant of the fact that I am...
I think that you do need to...
Jamie's a great mother. The fact that...
You explicitly denied consent.
Not only did I deny consent, I asked her and said, please, I am extremely serious about this. If you go forward with this, I will eventually take legal action. And when you're dealing with children, it's important for people to understand that seeing their mother in handcuffs is viscerally traumatizing. And that's where I draw the line, is that when you see what my wife has done, I'm not capable of doing that. Hats off to you guys. That's human torture. What you guys are engaged in is human torture for the boys and for me. And if you're the kind of people that are able to engage in this, this is where I will take a step back and say, hey guys, you've lost your minds completely. And if you really think that utilizing children as weapons will be somehow overlooked and ignored, I don't know how to explain this to you, but you're extremely wrong. And this entire thing is going to backfire on the people that have done this. And both Jamie and mine spouses or ex-spouses have done exactly that. The only reason why they've gotten away with it is because Miss Resnick and I are extremely serious in our capacity as parents, and we refuse to allow lies to dictate the future of our dynamic with our children.
It is irrefutable that you and I are good parents, not only to each other, but to our children and to the outside world.
The entire
We have
community.
been
What are you
nothing,
talking about? We've
you know?
never.
So like the fact that it's even a conversation piece, you know, is
Jamie was an amazing
I call
mother
bullshit.
up until I filed a restraining order and until Mallory. How does that make any sense to anyone? Jared Resnick never cited a single issue with Jamie up until the point where Mallory and I started to have a conflict.
But let's also discuss the fact that their evidence is YouTube videos, which is literally not evidence. It's a YouTube channel that you don't have to watch. It's a YouTube channel that is
It's all true, first and foremost,
you know what I'm saying?
in my
like,
defense.
Like, oh my God, they're filming. Dan has a honest, loud voice. Oh my God, let's call them crazy. It makes no sense. That's not
Well, that's where I
evidence.
disagree with you. It does make sense. You see, Jamie, you're a key witness in a couple of $100 million of litigation. And there's a reason why you're being silenced.
Well,
There's a huge dollar sign behind Jamie's voice. And the reason for that is because everything I say is the truth.
it is.
If it was a lie, I don't
But
even
don't
know.
you
I
guys
don't.
get why like that's part of my frustration is everything that you say is true. The people know it, people close in your life know it, your family, Rita, Mark, Mallory, David, come on, Harris, like people who you've let into your life know the truth of
I don't need
the
any of that.
words that come out of your mouth.
I don't need any of that. What I needed was my biggest fear to come out in public. And my biggest fear to come out in public was that my wife hates me. Like, there's no human being that can possibly do the things that she did without saying, no, I hate this guy. And what's really painful is that after 22 years, when she realized just how much she hates me, rather than amicably separating or having enough respect for me to allow me to be a father and her to be a mother, she spent years orchestrating this ridiculous plan that has completely backfired on her because it's about to come out in public, whereby she commits a series of crimes, alienates the children, risks the children's lives, blames me for being assaulted. What kind of a person can possibly go into domestic violence court and state that the reason why she assaulted me was in self-defense? On the video, she says that I deserve it. I mean, look, guys, if you think that it is some sort of a badge of honor that I wear by humiliating myself because my wife and I can't get our shit together, you don't get it. What you're seeing is the real truth. I am the first human being in the world to be able to take my life and have it shown in a three-dimensional landscape. Not my wife's life, not my kid's life, my life, my life, my life.
And that takes balls. And no
Hey,
one
thanks.
has enough
You
balls.
should check out that movie, Is This Thing On? I think Bradley Cooper's character.
You know, I don't
maybe.
think that anyone watching has any clue how scary it is to be on camera, to put your life on camera, to continually put your life on camera, to stand by and back up what you put on camera. I mean, as someone who is part of on camera, off camera, just filming alone is scary. You know, just continually doing it and walking in and saying, look, not only do I stand by my word, I'm going to film it and I'm going to prove it and I'm going to keep talking about it. And I couldn't do it.
I'll tell you
I would've
something.
given
I'll
up.
tell you something why this channel is really important, why it shifted into this direction. I think there's millions of human beings that are in the same position as I am and find themselves completely voiceless and incapable of getting out of these horrible dynamics.
Right. It's like a
Because they
cycle
love
and
their
a-
children.
Yeah.
And they know that their spouse has that as an umbrella over them. By just destroying the internal dynamics of the relationship between the spouse and the child, the other spouse has full control over the first spouse. And I think that a lot of people are missing the importance of this channel and the importance of learning a lesson from this channel, whereby look at how impossible my adversaries have made it for me to even exist as a human being, let alone settle and move on. And the reason for that is because of their obsession with me, not because of anything else. It is because they are completely and utterly obsessed with this narrative. And it is not my fault. Well, I am.
I mean, come
Pretty
on.
charming guy. No, the truth is really scary, and the truth is that I've been treated like absolute garbage for a quarter of a century, and I tolerated all of this, and I kept tolerating it, and I kept tolerating it, and I kept tolerating it, and one day I just couldn't do it anymore. And I don't think anyone understands what it's like to really experience abuse on a very metaphysical level, and then be able to rise above it and say, one day my kids will watch this. One day they will see, like, hey, their father never gave up. Boys, I'm ready to go to the Supreme Court. I promise you, these people are wasting my fucking time. I will never stop.
He's so ready.
I have 300 million Americans. You guys are in my way. No problem. 1-on-1, 0-sum. Let's go. Drake, happy birthday. I assure you, this is not my fault. It has taken me a long time to be able to publish the video that I was most afraid of, that shows the most disrespectful things that Mallory could have done. I built her that closet. I bought her those clothes. I worked really hard for those things. For her to say and do those things while the kids are in the house, and for her to not acknowledge that there's basic protocols in psychology when a human being identifies themselves to be suicidal, that they cannot be left alone, let alone run out of the house, let alone self-medicate. And for people to not understand the stresses and the pressures that I was dealing with in the outside world, and then coming home to that, well, then you're not only heartless, you're exactly what I predicted you to be. There were close to 200 people that were following Mallory and her business interests. That's almost 200 people that support a wife beater, a child kidnapper, as well as someone who completely tortured me.
And they're okay with it.
Yeah, they're totally okay with it.
Openly okay with it.
They're okay with it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fully support this human being, and we're going to go ahead and make sure to flagrantly ignore the law. And somebody might say, like, oh, why did she kidnap? Because you said so? No, because there's a law, and because I asked her not to break the law. We were not separated. We weren't even going through the process of separation at the time. Sure. She just did it by herself. And that's the point. There's basic laws that were broken.
Help, yes.
What? You know, her and her giant posse right over here, each one of these people contributed. Now, Lou Madugno might not understand why, so we're going to go into an entire segment of Chapter 7 of what really Mallory, Jordan, her father, and Lou Madugno orchestrated. And this is all documented in federal court, so anyone is welcome to go ahead and try to suppress it. Please understand that what I'm about to do is for the better of 300 million Americans, as well as my two boys and myself, where I expose corruption at a very, very topical level, where you can look these human beings up. They look absolutely normal, everything is fine, but each and every one of them contributed to the separation of me and my children. Whereas I did nothing to these people. You have to understand that a human being like these people say we were just hired to do our jobs is not allowed, look how many J's, is not allowed to say that if they are an able-bodied attorney and are aware of criminal activity that they're a part of. So just this video alone puts them on full notice and saying, hey guys, look, you might not like these videos, but the rest of America needs to know that there are attorneys that are more than willing to commit crimes.
I've never I couldn't
So
believe
once
the
again,
amount of
Lou
crime.
Benigno, Esquire, Matthew Smora, Esquire, Jamie Solano, Esquire, John Lubensky, Esquire, Jordan Blask, Esquire, Jared Resnick, Esquire. That's 6 attorneys. Isn't that insane?
And that's a portion.
Just what fits on this fucking
And that's
board.
just the one posse.
Look, these are white, entitled, spoiled criminals. They run through all aspects of law enforcement by waiving a law degree and a small amount of dollars, like this. And they're able to get away with these horrible, horrible white-collar crimes, which have led to obviously real crimes because they've been unchecked. Because if someone pays them money, they will lie on their client's behalf. And the motivation behind why they
not
did
only
it,
that,
and I would love to be able to show this video to any court, any judge whatsoever and say, look, what is a human being supposed to do when I am a nonviolent, I advocate pacifism, I have been displaced, and my court filings are pretty much laughed at because I'm not an attorney or because I'm right. And the truth is that if the Essex County Family Law Division actually took responsibility for what they have done, they would see that they're fully negligent in this process. You could throw in the Essex County Prosecutor's Office in there as well. So what kind of a human being is able to make YouTube videos like this and make it up? Ask yourself that. What were you about to say?
I don't know, you lost me and then you started talking about something else and now I forget.
Well, I think at this point, I think it's really important that people really understand that we're going to go backwards then forward. So we're going to start with Jared Resnick, Esquire.
Okay.
So I think it's very important for people to understand that this is my YouTube channel. I know that Jamie and Jared got divorced. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do actually.
Okay. And on that channel, do you badmouth Jared Resnick?
I don't.
That's incredible. That's the only channel that you're allowed to judge Jamie on. This is her doing her job. Does anyone understand this?
I don't think they do. Which is
Okay, let me explain this once again, okay? This is Jamie Resnick. She is my assistant. How I pay her, what I do, none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
Second, Jamie has a YouTube channel. On that channel is the only thing that you need to be concerned with because that's her channel. You are not allowed to use a human being's job, let alone a woman's job, against her. That is against the law. There are multiple work-related discriminatory laws that are designed specifically for a human being like Jared Resnick to not be able to do what he has done.
Yes.
Because females in the workplace are rare, let alone women who have had multiple children. You had 3 children.
He has actively attempted to
sabotage your entire life and career.
Since about 3 months into working for you.
It's incredible, and I never did anything to this guy.
Nothing.
That's the crazy part of the whole thing.
Which is so funny.
I never did anything.
I'll tell you guys the story. So
this is why everyone is so afraid of Jamie's voice. Listen carefully.
So Jared had just come back from one of his trips, and he said, "Oh, I saw this guy at the airport." He's like, he was flexing about his trip stuff, and he had run into Mark Reeses. And I was
Who's
like,
Mark Reeses?
And I'm like, who's Mark Reeses? And he's like, oh, he's this guy I went to high school with.
Okay.
Zero mention of Dan Reeses.
All right.
Okay? Fast forward.
Okay.
I meet Dan Reeses.
Yeah, keep going.
I said, oh, I ran into Dan Reeses, whatever, blah, 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 the club. Oh, Dan Reeses. I think I maybe know him. I think he's Mark's brother or whatever. Like, he very, very, there was no...
I don't disagree with you, but I didn't know who...
He played you down.
I had no... I've never
down.
had an issue with Jared Resnick ever in my life.
No, not that you had an issue or not with him.
No, I never interacted with him.
But...
I didn't know who he was. I'm sorry. Like I remember the name, like from a Crunchy Lettuce concert. But I mean, like It's a very common first name. It's even more common last name.
So,
yeah.
fast forward, also, I'm also telling this story in hindsight, but, so fast forward a couple months, and I leave Flywheel, and I'm deciding what to do, I'm looking for something that makes sense in my life, and I do love being an assistant, and I love organizing and doing things.
She's a really good assistant. So, you guys have no idea.
And which is funny, I do love my job. I know that people have been really rude to me about it, but
she's a really amazing assistant. I have an extremely complicated job.
So I remember I was like trying to make sense of all, and I came up with this silly thing, and I ran into Dan on the blacktop at Collins, and I told him my idea, and he was like, I'll never forget.
My Daily Admin.
And don't even talk about it, I'm so embarrassed.
.com. MyDailyAdmin4U.net. Like .com and .org and
he goes, all right, and he goes, Jamie, I get it. I think it's a great idea. We're very sweet, right? You're like, I'm starting this thing in Montclair. Just come work for me for a couple weeks, like whatever you said. Like I'll pay. Like you'll.
There's an actual podcast called
I'll give you a temporary assignment.
Store.
You're like, I'll hire you for a temporary assignment. You can come work for me temporarily while I do this thing and like. Because I have like other stuff going on.
Oh my god, I was so fucking exhausted at the time. My employees were just stealing absolutely everything.
I like get there and I don't know what to expect.
Everything wasn't bolted down, was like just stolen.
Mind you, like I don't know anything. I don't know what to expect. I'm just super excited that I like really found like someone who is doing something interesting and different or whatever. So I show up and I work 3 days, and Dan calls me out in the street and he's like, all right, so either you're working for me or it's, or you're working for me. And I was like, I am in. Because you know what? The truth is, in those 3 days, what I got to see was I saw, like, behind the curtain. I saw this guy who was
preach on, sister,
doing like all these different hustles. He had all these things going on in the background. He had this beautiful family, mermaid hair wife, everything. And I was like, there was something about this guy that like he's got it. And it pissed people off. The second week in that job, when I said yes and I showed up, is when things started trickling down.
Wait, you quit?
Oh no, I quit later. So wait, that's a different story.
What are you talking about?
That's months later, years later.
I know, but like, guys, the reality is that things got a little too much, I guess, for Jamie. So she temporarily quit. I just had to like yell her back into. No, I'm kidding. I didn't yell at all. Actually, I brought her to the Passaic office, and I was selling the building, and there was just like one chair in a giant warehouse. Mm-hmm. Maybe 2 chairs, and we sat down.
This is true.
And I said, I'm sure there's a million reasons of why you want to quit and go to your boring ass job, but I really need some help on a few things that only a lame ass mom like you can do. And
this is all true. This is all 100% true, everyone watching this. It is 100% true.
I couldn't really tell her I needed a shill for the Fight Back Foundation. or a
lot macho, but still, you did, and I said, it's true. Like everyone has a choice that they can make in their life, and I chose life that day, not death.
Long death.
Long death.
Wow, it's nice to hear you speak, Jamie. I think that a lot of people will be very surprised as to what Jamie has to say in court when she's given a chance to speak. Do you remember in the last time we tried to have you speak in court, how crazy things got?
Wait, let's talk.
No, let's not.
Oh, you're right.
I'm going to explain. You see, we, or Jamie, and I don't even give a shit what status I have or I don't have. I use something called the U.S. Constitution, which is unbeatable. But Jamie has something called whistleblower status. Whistleblower status is a federal matter. There is small family courts in Essex County that are trying to suppress the truth from coming out of what they have done to her and to me.
Correct.
At this time...
Yeah, you have to...
Fix my hair?
Yeah.
How's that? Better?
You're having hair. Better stop.
Like a Rick Sanchez.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hair. I'm getting ready. I'm doing.
So
I'm
yes,
growing my
there are
hair.
a lot of people trying to silence me because of the amazing and unbelievable things that have happened over the last couple of years. And so in order to silence me, they used a lot of lawyers and fear tactics and little other things. But the
Like
reality,
taking your kids away from
my
you.
kids taken away. But the truth is
with
that I have been witness to some of
your
the
husband
most
slash
outstanding
lawyer.
things that have included members, high levels of the judiciary, of government, of lawyers, regular people, you name it.
All right, look. I exposed the Democratic power brokering machine of New Jersey. Mickey Sherrill, the governor, Joe DiVincenzo, most of the judges, everyone's in on it. Not a big deal. In response to that, they proved my point 100% by violating the most basic primary laws of parenting and due process in public.
Yes.
Bravo.
Congratulations.
Maybe like a federal prosecutor wants to step in at any time and help me out over here. Maybe the IRS, postal inspector, who knows? But the truth is that the gross incompetence and fear of the other people that are not a part of the Democratic power brokering machine. You like that name?
I do.
Yeah, the Democratic power brokering machine.
Can I grab something real quick?
Sure.
Hit it.
Anyways, glad she's gone. No, I'm kidding. Now that Jamie's gone for a few minutes and really out of the room, no games or anything like that, she had to grab something. I just want to let everybody know about this is the act. I am in so much fucking pain. And I have to keep it together because I'm the boss over here and like, I don't know what she expects of me, but hey, what's up?
What are you talking about behind my back?
you're not from the South. All right, take it away, Miss Resnick.
So, one of the things that always infuriated me was...
You're going to have to sit right in the middle. I'm going to go upstairs because
Okay.
I realize that your voice is much stronger when I'm not around.
Okay.
I know that you see me as both a mentor and a critic, but I assure you, if you bring the chair to the center, cross your legs, you'll be very comfortable. Okay?
All right. So, I know that Dan was talking a lot about whistleblower status and a lot of the things that have happened and a lot of the things that you guys just don't believe. And let's just put a couple of things to bed real quick. So, let's talk about what I have been, here's an inkling of things I've been silenced on. Now, what I'm reading to you is an actual document by the United States Bankruptcy Court, District of New Jersey, signed by John K. Sherwood. This was a little over 5/5/23. So this is signed by him, and it is ordered. Decision and order remotion by Mr. Reeses to investigate criminal acts. So let's just rewind a little bit to everyone who's talking to themselves. This is 2 years ago. This is just one of hundreds of motions and documents and things that he submitted to the court, calling out people who have broken the law and this being ignored. So I just want to one time on camera read to you some of the people that he mentions who, due to the corruption and the people that he's calling out, these were either ignored, put under the rug, whatever you want to call it, but let's just start from the beginning. And again, this is a court order signed by a judge that convinced the judge enough that these people broke the law. Okay? So, let's just start. Number 1, Adam Kessler of Kessler and Kessler. Number 2, MTL. So Adam Kessler was the lawyer that signed the operating agreement between Mr. Matthew Leff and Daniel Reeses, which is the core of the Matthew Leff Daniel Reeses lawsuit, which everyone seems to be completely just not paying any attention to the actual law and facts that were provided to the judge, ignored once again, but we'll go back to that. To Mizell, Tudor, and Lewis, the accounting firm, not only for Matthew Leff, but also for Richard Trank and a couple other people we found out. So fascinating that that accounting firm, who do also run by their own standards and practices, very powerful, have found themselves skating by, let's see, who else? Oleg Zesny, Margarita Rhesus, Rita, come on. Do I need to say anything farther? Brian Lustig, Tofik Halou, Matthew Leff, Irene Manukian, Fred Davies, Mariners Bank, Jim Salakian, Nicholas Biasi, Ellen Wood, Donald Biasi, and Richard Trank. And those are just 15 of the names that I'm reading on this court order. So while everyone is ignoring what Dan's saying, oh,
that's a great way.
He's crazy, you know. Exactly. This list is a great way that you said. So I started out by kind of going into a little bit about each one, but then I realized I had to just read the names because each one needs its own section almost because of how they just completely.
For the record, I don't even think Fred Davies is that bad of a guy. All he has to do is write a check and all this goes away. Bob Menendez, that's not a good man. But he too can easily change his fate by testifying and telling the truth. Being like, hey, you know what? I'm part of the Democratic power brokering machine and they have allowed me to stay in power and reap the benefits of my illicit crimes so that I can make the changes that are necessary on a federal level on behalf of the state of New Jersey. These humans are criminals. These are not politicians, guys. There's real politicians out there that are working very hard.
This was during this Lou Madugno time period in your life, which is why it's important to talk about it, because I just want everyone to make sure that they're aware.
While I was exposing some of the worst corruption in the country, my wife, this man who Jordan found for her and her father, released the rights to my commercial real estate portfolio. My West Orange house was given away.
Oh no, there was conversations behind your back about what's best for you.
In order to take my Livingston home, 100% of the equity of my Livingston home.
But don't worry, well, maybe you'll get it back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if you're a good boy.
If you're, this is a house that I built and put my life into it. Mm-hmm. That my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my wife orchestrated a scheme in order to defraud me of my half. Like, I gave her 50% as a nice husband for no reason, and in return, she stabs me in the back during the most difficult time in my life.
Yeah.
And if no one understands how fucked up that is, I don't know what to tell you. And the fact that it's orchestrated and it's all documented, and then she goes into family court in response to being outed as a domestic aggressor. She's a wife beater, and in response to that, she's able to orchestrate, and I don't know if I have the ability to show yet exactly what Mallory was engaged in while I was in Essex County Jail, rotting. I could have easily not gotten out. You have no idea how scary it is. I spent 3 8-day segments, 24 days total in Essex County Jail for no reason. Other than go ahead.
I believe it was her thinking that you would be there as long as possible, so that she could get everything, to do her whole thing while you were locked up.
That's insane. And for anyone who doesn't understand that the person in that video is the same one that orchestrated all this, and the government has completely supported this, you guys are insane. And the fact that people have an issue with what I say on YouTube versus the reality of what these people have done, that's insane. I'm not crazy. Jamie's not on drugs. That's a phantom illusion of people who are trying to suppress our voice. It is an invented story. None of this is true. I mean, what we're saying is true, but Jamie and I are really good parents. We love our kids.
Really
you guys
good
have
parents.
Lost your fucking minds.
Really good parents.
Like the declarations that were made against us are 100% false.
They are.
There might be my name might be the only thing that's right about that. It is a completely made up story.
Not only that,
And the judges refuse to accept that there is no evidence behind their made up story.
None.
I have challenged it. I'm like, where's the evidence behind this?
I have whole sections in my divorce
where's the
about
evidence?
Dan
What,
Reeses.
images
I
of-
didn't know Dan Reeses was in our marriage, but all right. What do you mean? Like the jealousy, the ego, I mean, come on, guy, let's go. Move on with your life.
There are so many holes in this narrative that was perpetrated to the courts about myself and Jamie
So
that
much.
I'm humiliated for the court. That's how embarrassing this is. That's how embarrassing this is. That once everyone sees the truth, they will say, holy shit, I can't believe we allowed this all to happen, all because of our ego. Ladies and gentlemen, get off Instagram. Get your heads out of your asses. You have a human being who's being violated, whose children are being destroyed, and you're all loving it rather than doing anything about it. Every single person that is watching this that does not stand up, you might as well get out of the theater. My name is Dan Reeses.
And I'm Jamie.
We are out.